I think in this, we have one more question to answer. How many jobs will get adapted through because of introduction of AI? How many jobs get created because of AI?
Many. I'll tell you what.
One is IT.
One is IT, one is IT. Second is, you see, AI or data science or data analysis, whichever we say, is all about data. One of the greatest hurdles, I won't say hurdle, but I'll say one of the greatest requirement of creating a AI model is data, past data. Now, if you go to a company, I'm just saying, we have some data on which we train our students. It is about telecom companies. There are some 5,000 customers data, and it is about their usage. What kind of nighttime calling they have been doing, what kind of daytime calling they have been doing, whether they have been using the voicemail, whether how many times they called of the customer service for problems and all these things. And then finally, it's a past so many years data, and whether the customer stayed on with the company or not. So wonderful example. We can take this data, we can train our model to come back and say with 94% accuracy. Obviously, we use various algorithms to get the highest accuracy. And then we say that with 94% accuracy, I can predict whether your customer will stay with you or not. Correct. Just imagine, in India, if you own telephone connection, mobile connection, no one really calls you to check whether Mr. Ankit, you are happy or not. Until you have ported your number and you get frantically customer service called you and say that don't go, we give you. Why? Couldn't they have implemented this? See, if I'm not wrong, my estimates, if I'm not wrong, I know that 2 to 3% churn per month for a telecom company. That's about 24 to 36% churn per year. Now, getting new customers, obviously you have to get that many customers to keep your base same or even more. I'm not sure about that, but this is somewhere I read. So, getting new customer is always more expensive. So rather you implement a system like this. Now, where is the problem? The data of nighttime calling, daytime calling, all will be there. But if you go and ask the billing department which customer has left and which has not left, you will not have ready data. And without that level, you cannot build the model.
Agree.
So you get it?
Agree.
So ultimately, when AI will catch on, there will be a lot of work happening on data. You would require data scientists, data analysts who understand data and question every bit of data whether it can contribute to the decision making of the model. For example, I'm just giving a very simple example. If you are trying to predict whether an employee will leave or not your organization, we can use the same algorithm to do this. Whether employee will leave the organization or not, and you have data whether what is the hometown of that guy. It is very unlikely that hometown, whatever be the hometown, will have a very major impact on the decision making whether the person will move or not. So that feature needs to be taken out. It's a noise for us. So a lot of data preparation work has to happen. There is a lot of things like, I do not know whether others can explain it. There's a lot of work like offline re-engineering, online feature engineering, offline feature engineering. For example, I am trying to predict based on the pin code in the city whether a person walking is likely to buy this product or not. So I want to classify these pin codes in terms of the average monthly employment. There are certain areas in the city which where the average monthly income is higher. So we would need to have a manual intervention where we can go down there and then find out the average per pin code and put it. Just imagine when you do that, that becomes a predictor. That becomes a predictor that helps you to understand whether a person will buy or not. So, but that data was not available to you online, but you use some offline process to get that data in, which has a definite relation. So that is called offline data engineering. So when a machine learning implementation becomes serious, a lot of such jobs will be created. People who will work on the data, clean. See, I would say everyone knows in our data science world, everyone knows that 80% of the time we data scientists, we work on cleaning and preparing the data.
Hmm.
Applying a model is very easy.
Right.
Cleaning and
Data
preparing the
manipulation.
data, getting the right data, which makes
Manipulation.
sense. So there you have offline data engineering. Not that every data was available to you. Suddenly you find, if I get the pin code details and the pin code classification in terms of the average income group, it becomes very easy for me to predict. So it will take a lot of time to build the data. And not only the data relationships, I'm just telling you this example. I have a friend of mine who's also a professor in one of the North Indian universities. I know him very well because he and me, we were there in a panel together discussing, choosing a particular thing. So he is head of researches of that large North Indian university that is attached to a medical college. So they developed a patient information system and they tried to do some predictions using deep learning, and it gave them 89% accuracy.
Acha. Okay.
So what he did, he told me this thing, the same data was replaced by data from a South Indian hospital, and the accuracy fell to 67%. Why? The data structure was same, correct, but the data relationships change. Say, for example, in North India, the kind of food we have, the kind of edible oils we have, and the kind of impact it had on our blood levels and all that, the same may not happen in South India. So the data structure remains the same, data relationships change. So all those things have to be worked on. Working on data is huge. So a lot of people at a lot of levels will get employed in terms of preparing data, cleaning data, doing offline engineering.
I think cleaning data is very important task.
Cleaning data is absolutely. There are a lot of duplications. Like, for example, I'm just saying, see, one of the greatest risk elements is those call center people. High-end call center. So what is call center doing? Call center is taking some questions from the customer, checking out on a knowledge base, doing some processing given the standard operating procedure, ye ho raha tha, ye karna, ye ho raha tha, ye karna, and then answering back. So I can use agent, I can create an agent to take the questions. I can create another agent to ask the LLM to reply. If the LLM is not replying, that agent will also invoke a RAG to get the data, right? And then process the data, and then I can use text to voice to answer back to the customer. And all these agents will be related through a protocol called MCP. So that guy's job is gone. This guy's job is at risk.